More like, honey, don't go watch this movie. I wish my father would return my calls. I just got back from watching the new Coen brother new movie, Honey, Don't. And you may have thought I meant that plurally, but oh no, this was just Ethan Coen directing this film. And that is where our downfall begins. You know, the Coen brothers are synonymous for making some of my favorite movies of all time. You know, you got Fargo, No Country for Old Men, The Big Lebowski. But when it's just Ethan Coen directing, his films are, what are the words I'm looking for? Not good. And even with a completely stacked cast, they still cannot save this film. In Honey Don't, we follow a detective played by Margaret Qualley who is trying to unravel a bunch of mysterious deaths that lead back to this very mysterious and weird church. And with that type of premise and this type of cast, it had me hooked, so much so that I was willing to drive an hour and a half to go and watch this movie. And immediately upon this film's conclusion, I thought to myself, you know, this film seems like it was only made so they could get Aubrey Plaza and Margaret Qualley naked, doing sexual things to one another. Because what in the hell was that pacing? It just seems like this film was directed by someone with Alzheimer's. First, we follow Margaret Qualley as she tries to unravel all these clues as to why all of these people are just like dying all of a sudden. Then we go down this weird path where we, you know, follow this church led by Chris Evans. He's like the pastor there. He's like a manipulator, and he has sex with all the churchgoers. And once we're introduced to his character, the film blatantly tells you who the unalivers are and why they're doing it. And this is like at the 20-minute mark, and there's just like no mystery whatsoever at that point. And we're pretty much just following Qualley as she's trying to unravel all of these clues that us as an audience already know. You still kind of have me at that point, but then out of nowhere, the film goes down this path of watching this teenager that we're barely introduced to run away from her parents, and then out of nowhere, Qualley's estranged father comes into the picture, and everyone thinks he's like a PDF file, if you catch my drift. And in the midst of all that, Qualley's, you know, having sexuals with all these different women. Because that's how you write a lesbian character in 2025. You have to have them naked, doing naked things with other women, so that way the audience knows that she's into girls. Because we're like fucking stupid, we couldn't figure that out naturally. And the last thing I'm going to say about this horseshit film, cherry on top, and it's a doozy. Aubrey Plaza's character, she plays this lesbian cop. That's her whole personality. She comes in and out of the film sporadically throughout. And when we get to the very end, I would say she probably has one of the worst character arcs I've ever seen in a movie ever. Like, it is beyond stupid bad. Like, the actors and everyone involved, they're not bad. They're just told to inadvertently play with shit. And apart from all the different directions we take within the story and all the terrible character developments we follow, this movie ends up being one of the worst of the year.